we're going to do apply, call, bind. And we're going to say let fruits equal, and then we'll just say that. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to say let list equal an empty array. And then we're going to say list.push apply on fruits. And then what are we going to push in? Well, we're going to push in orange. But as you noticed, if we get rid of the array, it doesn't work. So let's bring those array brackets back. All right. So now let's get fruits. Check that out. What is the last element of fruits 3? It's orange. But if you notice up here, the original fruits array only had banana, peach, and apple. So how did fruits get this orange element? Well, check this out. We did list.push.apply. So list itself was an empty array defined up here. And we did list.push.apply. One of the biggest things with JavaScript is that methods are first-class functions. So what's that mean? Well, that means when we do list.push, right, we're not really caring what push is when we do apply. What we're really doing is we're saying, okay, let's get or deconstruct the push method from list. So now we just have push. What is push? Well, it's a native function of JavaScript. And so now we're going to say push.apply, and then let's look at the parameters. We have this arg, and then an array of parameters we pass into this function based on the given this argument. So what is this? Well, it's fruits. What are the arguments? Well, the first time we passed in orange, let's pass in watermelon this time. Now what do we have for fruits? Well, now we have banana, peach, apple, orange, watermelon. So how's this work? Well, basically all we're doing is we're getting the function itself. We don't really care. I mean, technically we could do empty array.push, or we could even do fruits.push, but we don't really care what this first option is when we run apply. Why? Because we're just trying to apply onto this function. So the function is push, so it's going to be like array.push, but again, up here we deconstructed push from the list. So all we really need is push. So it's going to be, it doesn't really matter what this first part is outside of it lets us access the push function. So because we deconstructed push off of an empty array, or here, let's try this. Let's do let, and let's reload this. Let's do clear, and we're just going to do let push equal array, right? So now we're deconstructing the push method from an empty array. Now we're going to do push.apply, and what are we applying? Well, we want to apply on an empty array these arguments, and it's an array of arguments, so we want to do orange. And so if we go back up here and we do let fruits, because we reloaded our page, we can do this, and we can do apple, peach, grape. All right, so we have a fruits array, and we have deconstructed the push method off of a generic array. So we have our push method, and we want to apply the push method to our fruits array with the argument of orange. And the arguments are going to be an arguments list defined as an array. So now if we get our fruits, we have orange. So notice when we initially defined fruits, we had apple, peach, grape. we did push.apply. We want to apply the push method on fruits with the parameter of orange. And now we have apple, peach, grape, orange. Pretty cool. Pretty straightforward, but pretty cool. So again, all we're doing is we're saying, hey, we want to get the push method. So we can do that. We deconstructed the push method up there from our array. But we can also do this. We can do empty array.push. And we want to just get that push method. That's all we're trying to do for the first part. And then we want to apply the push method on our fruits array and then pass in an array of arguments where all we're going to pass in is simply a cherry. So again, we have an array. This part really doesn't matter outside the fact that it gets us our push method. Once we have our push method, we want to get our push method, and using the push method, we want to apply that method on the fruits array, passing in this array of arguments, and we're going to pass in cherry. And so now on our fruits, we have apple, peach, grape, orange, and cherry. So let's clear this out real quick and notice that we already deconstructed push. So we have push, but instead of doing apply this time, let's do call. What's the difference between apply versus call? Very simple. These methods are both extremely powerful, but very similar. So let's do this. Let's do array dot push dot call, and we're going to do fruits. And this time, instead of passing in an array of arguments like this, where we're going to go, I don't know, blueberry. Instead of passing in an array of arguments, if we were to, let's do it this way. And notice that it says this arg, fruit is this, and then it's an array of arguments. For apply, but for call, it's not an array of arguments, it's a list of arguments. So if it was a method that accepted more than one argument, we would just do blueberry, blackberry, raisin. Is that a fruit? I don't know. But whatever it is, right? But because it's push, we're only going to pass in one method. And so call only accepts an argument list. And so now, if we go fruits, we have apple, peach, grape, orange, cherry, blueberry. Now check this out. If we were to try to pass an array to call, what happens? It doesn't work exactly how we would expect it to. It would technically work, but it would pass the entire array in. Whereas if we did apply fruits blueberry, and then we got our fruits, we'll notice that this is where we called the call method, and this is where we call the apply method. So what's the difference between apply versus call? Well, apply simply accepts an array of parameters, and I'm running out of fruits here, so let's go with, I don't know, what's a good fruit? Let's go pear, right? And then that's going to be the same thing as push.call fruits, and then if we just did pear. So call accepts a parameter list. So this arg is going to be fruits, and then it has a deconstructed array. So it automatically deconstructs the array. So it's going to be a parameter list. Then if we go to apply and we look at the methods, it's going to be arg array. So see how the call method has the ... and the apply method has just a simple arg array. Well, that's the difference. So this, using apply, we're going to push all of the parameters defined in this array to fruits, versus call all of the parameters just listed, not inside an array, onto fruits. So that's the only difference, is apply, the second parameter is going to be an array of parameters, and we're going to apply these parameters onto fruits based on the method that we're using the apply method for, whereas the call method is going to simply push. We're going to call the push method on fruits using a list of items instead of array. Or if we go over here, we did apply is going to accept an array. And I'm not going to actually call that because that will not, it might work, but I don't think it will, because push usually only accepts one method, because that's what we're applying or calling. We're applying the push method on fruits, or we're calling the push method on fruits. The only difference is the second parameter, which is apply accepts an array, whereas call accepts a parameter list. So let's go on to another quick example. So let's say we had a list of numbers. We said 53, 65, 25, oh, hello, and then 37 and 78. And then we want to say, like, what is the max of those numbers? Well, we can do math.max numbers, right? Not a number. Oof, that's rough. That's rough. Well, how can we fix that? Well, what if we did math.max.apply? And then instead of doing, notice this arg, that's like, what do we want to apply? This is the method. We're applying this method, but let's apply this method on null. And we can do null, and then let's do it on numbers. Because the reason is, we don't need to apply it on anything. We have a list of arguments. There doesn't need to be a this. We don't need to apply math.max on anything. Except, we do need to pass in a list of parameters. And so if we do math.max.apply on null with the parameter list of numbers, well, it's going to give us the max number. And just to give you an idea, if we do list and let's do nums. I don't, or digits. Yeah, that works. And we're just going to simply carry those right there. And then we're going to do math.max.apply. We're going to apply it on null. We don't need it this. It's just a math.max, right? If you just passed in an array of parameters, it would return the max number. We don't need it this, so we pass in null. The second argument to apply is going to be the parameter list as an array. Again, that's just going to be our digits, and it's going to return the max number. Okay, so let's do this one more time, and we'll just do, I don't know, numeros. And let's just simply go right here and do that one more time. Then we're going to do math.max.call. We're going to do null But then we're going to deconstruct the array. And so when we deconstruct the array of numeros, again, it is going to work. Why did that work? Well, when we deconstruct numeros, let's do this. Let's do console.log deconstruct numeros. It just gets us a list. But if we do console.log numeros, it's going to be an array, right? So whenever we do ... it deconstructs that array into a list. Array, list. Array, list. So again, and actually let's do this. Let's do console.log.apply, and we're just going to do null. There is no this argument. We just want to pass in some parameters, and we're going to do numeros. If we go like that, but if we go .call numeros, it's going to return an array of those elements. See? But if we do ... it's going to be the same thing. ... deconstructs the array, right? That's an array. That's a list. If we do apply, that's just going to be the list again, right? If we do this, it won't work, because we're trying to apply console.log, the log method. We're trying to apply the log method on null, so there is no this for the log method. It's a pure in and out function, and we're trying to apply it on a non-array. Well, apply only works on arrays. See? That works. That doesn't. That works. That does not. Apply only works on arrays, but again, that doesn't work. If we change that to call, it does. If we change that to call and we remove the ... it's just going to console.log an entire array. Alright, so the last one we got is bind. So what does bind do? Well, let's say we have a function, and we're going to say, tell me about your pet. Tell me about your pet, right? And what's that going to do? That's going to say, okay, this is a function, and all you're going to do is console.log. We're going to use template literals. And all we're going to do is my pet, then we're going to do this.name is a this.type and weighs this.weight, and then we're going to just do LBS. Alright. So my pet is a and weighs blank. So that's what tell me about your pet is. So now let's do the actual pet. So let's say like I'll actually use my real dog, Coco. So I'm going to say Coco, and then has a name of Coco, and then has a type of dog, because my dog Coco is a dog. And then he weighs, he's probably really light. He probably weighs like 15. He honestly probably weighs like 11. I'll be nice. And so all we're going to do is we're going to say, tell me about your pet, and then let's bind Coco to that. But before we actually run this, we're going to say, let Coco description. So we're creating a new function from this. Let Coco description equal tell me about your pet, bind Coco. And so now we're going to do Coco description, and my pet Coco is a dog and weighs 11 pounds. So what if we made a new animal or a new pet, and we called her Mimi? Not a cat person, by the way, in case you're wondering, but we'll do a cat. Type is going to be cat. Name is going to be Mimi, and weight is going to be 5, right? So then we're going to say let Mimi description equal tell me about your pet, and then bind Mimi. And then if we do Mimi description, just like that, and we run it, my pet Mimi is a cat and weighs 5 pounds. Pretty cool, pretty straightforward. So the only other thing we can do with the bind method is, if you notice, if we do tell me about your pet, and then we do the Mini, and are you going to show us what you got? Okay, let's do this. We're going to do let the, I don't know, let workout equal function, and then we're simply going to do, let's do break, or break's a keyword, so we can't do that. Let's do day, right? And so we're going to do if day equals Monday, and do console.log today is day, and this .name is going to run, is going to this .cardio, and then this .distance. Otherwise, let's see, else console.log today is not specified, and this .name is going to this .cardio for this .distance. Just like that. All right. Of course, we need to close this out. I'm going to add a 4 right there. So pretty simple. That's the workout. That's the function. Pretty straightforward. And all we're going to do is we're going to say, let's Arnold, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold is going to say, okay, name is Arnold. Cardio is running. Distance is forever. Because Arnold is, that's just Arnold. So now what we can do is we can actually do workout.bind, and then we're going to do Arnold, but then we can actually pass in the given parameters, right? So that's the second parameter. And then we can say, let Arnold's Monday workout equal that. And then, of course, we can do Arnold's Monday workout, run it. Today is Monday, and Arnold is going to be running for forever. There's a few typos in there, my bad. But then we can do let, I don't know, Pat Mahomes. I'm from Kansas City, if you guys were wondering. KC Chiefs. But what we can do is we can do name is Pat. Cardio is Super Bowl winning. And of course the distance can be victorious. Just like that. Victorious, aka Super Bowl champs, aka Chiefs. And boom. Then we can do let Pat Mahomes workout equal workout.bind, and then we're going to do Pat Mahomes, just like that. And then if we do Pat Mahomes workout. We will, of course, today is not specified because we did not pass in a specific day. Today is not specified, and Pat is going to Super Bowl winning for victorious, aka Super Bowl champs, aka Chiefs. And again, that is because we said if no day is specified, we're just going to say today is not specified, and Pat Mahomes is going to, and Pat Mahomes is going to Super Bowl win, and etc., etc. So that's how you bind. So a quick overview real quick is the first one was apply. So if we want to grab like an array, we want to do slice, and let's do this. Let's do let fruits equal banana and pear and apple and I don't know, orange, right? So then we can do slice dot apply, and then we can do fruits, and then we can do between 1 and 2, which will be the first and second, so we'll get pear and apple. And so let's say let pear and apple equal that, pear and apple, and I guess I got my slice wrong. That's sad. Let's try this. Let's do this. 0, 1, 2, 3. There we go. So pear and apple. Now, if we wanted to do the same thing, we could, of course, just do 1 and 3. And then pear and apple would be the same thing, except we need to change apply to call pear and apple. So again, call is just 1 to 3. We do apply. We can just do and add the raise. Just like that. So call and apply are very similar. One accepts an array, one accepts a parameter list. After that, we have a function that we can create. It can accept parameters or not. We can do today, and then we can do Friday, and then we can just do console.log. Today is, and then this dot date is Monday, and then the 31st of this dot year. And then we'll just do let date equal that. And then of course we can say let the current date equal, and then we'll set the date as the, I don't even know what today is. I don't know. People will probably see this a few years from now, so it doesn't matter. Today is Friday the 21st of, oh yeah, you guys remember this year. It's 2020. It's a crazy year. So we can do that, and whoa. No. All right, just like that. Then we can do date dot bind current date, and then if we want to override today, we can say Thursday by passing the second parameter as the argument list. First one is going to be what we're binding the function to. What is the this argument within the function shown here, and then a parameter list. So you can pass in more than one parameter if you wanted to. But since our function only accepts one parameter, we're going to say let humanized date equal date.bind, and then we'll just simply do humanized date, Thursday the 21st of 2020. So guys, I hope that was useful. That was apply, that was call, and that was bind. A little bit longer than we usually go, but those are some pretty hefty methods. I was hoping we could really simplify those for you guys.
Simpler.